Hi everyone, this is Jade. Before we get started tonight, I just wanted to address what happened this week. Here at Inside the Drag Closet, we are still quite a bit in shock by the legal allegations that have come out. And until there has been a trial, we are not going to discuss it. So we do apologize to anyone who wanted to know what is going on. We know just as much as you do. So sadly, we will not be discussing what happened, but we are going to move forward with the show and we are going to have a good time tonight. So without further ado, we give you Inside the Drag Closet.
Warning. The following program contains strong language and subject matter which may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for children. The content within this program is intended for mature audiences only.
Well, hello there, kids. Welcome to Inside the Drag Closet, the interactive vodcast where we talk about all things drag and some things that aren't. Who knows? We're really just here to have a good time. We have an amazing homecoming episode planned for you this evening. I am going to be joined by my incredible former co-hosts who have gone on and prospered. The incredible FANCI DISMOUNT and SKARLET OVERKILL are going to be joining me this evening. I cannot wait to chat with them this evening. Sadly, AMETHYST is feeling under the weather, so she will not be joining us this evening, but I see we have a lot of people who have tuned in this evening. That makes me very happy. My husband Derek is here. Estee Lauderdale. I know I left it on the screen for a reason. I wasn't ready. Vicky is here. Hello, darling. Orion is watching. Wonderful. Vicky and Robin are both watching. Shouldn't you be driving? Shouldn't you be on your way home? Just saying. Kitty DeVille sending relaxing vibes from the beach. Aw, I wish I was at the beach right now. That sounds amazing. Reed, how are you, darling? I saw pictures of you performing this week and you looked amazing. Just wanted to let you know. Good to see you all. Oh, Carrie is here this evening. Hello, darling. And Miss Beronce, we were just talking about you a few minutes ago. That's amazing. Hi, Estee. Oh my God, everybody's just popping off tonight. Madison Bell is here. Hello, sweetheart. Oh my God. I'm getting overwhelmed already. So tonight, I'm not going to do any who, what, where. I think we're just going to dive right into it. And I don't want to be on this screen by myself all night. So I am going to bring out my two incredible guests this evening. We spontaneously decided to have a night of a million gingers tonight. So let's welcome back to Inside the Drag Closet, the incredible FANCI DISMOUNT and SKARLET OVERKILL.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
Oh my God, how are you two doing?
Fabulous.
Living the dream, darling.
Yes.
I see in honor of Pride Month, you've got your Bear Pride flag, Fancy.
I do. Rawr.
Rawr. And SKARLET, what sort of pride are you celebrating this evening? Mullet Pride.
Mullet Pride, that one. Yeah, I was like, wait.
All day.
All day, every day, Mullet Pride.
Yes.
You two have been on... I want to talk about a little bit of the fact that you both have been on a body positivity journey since the show. Do either of you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I my journey started because when COVID hit, there was a lot of things that I was neglecting. Sometimes I don't deal with my emotions and feelings. The best way I seem to push things under the rug and, work to avoid things. And once the world stopped and everything fell out from under the rug, I was like, oh, damn, how do I deal with this? And I had no idea. And I, became depressed and turned to food and alcohol and abused both. And when I realized that there was an issue and I needed to face it and deal with it, I really, changed all that and started like exercising and working out and just doing things to be a healthier me, because I knew what I was doing was not the right way to handle it.
You seem much happier now, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. A lot of things have changed since the pandemic started in my life, and obviously all for the better. And I'm happy to be where I am now because most of us had that dark time during the pandemic. So I'm glad to be where I am now.
Excellent. How about you, FANCI?
Girl, well, of course, I got to follow that emotional story. I've just been fat my whole life. She's always been a thick girl. But yeah, no, finally, I mean, go figure. It took a worldwide pandemic to make me stop and actually like focus on me for once. But yeah, like I took the opportunity during the pandemic to actually, focus on my needs and what I wanted to do for my life. And finally got on the weight loss kick. I'm down 100 pounds now. I've lost an entire Aida. God love her.
Yes.
That's how we measure it. How many Aidas have I lost? But I'm down one whole Aida. I got one more to go. So hopefully by this time next year, I'll be like, skinnier than YouTube bitches. Hopefully.
Work.
Well, you two look amazing, and you have been so busy, both of you. Like, I have been like in awe of everything that you've been working on. I want to talk to our lovely cosmetic clown down here.
Oh, hey.
I want to talk about Overkill Cosmetics for a second.
Yes. So this was another thing that during the pandemic, once I realized that I need to take control of my life. It was something that I always thought about since I started doing drag. I worked at Ulta, I worked at Sephora. I've always been big into makeup and skincare. And so once I turned my life around and we were obviously still locked in our houses, I decided to start making my dream a reality. So I'm working with a company out of LA. They make all their products there in-house. So at any time I can visit, I can meet with the chemists and everybody who make the product. I can meet with the design team, the marketing team, everybody. And they're cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free, and again, all made there in California. And yeah, I finally got all my ducks in a row. I'm thankful for my friend Tyler, who is good with design and has his degree in that, because I have no idea how to do any of that technology. Who's that? And made my website and got it all set up, and I finally was able to make my dream a reality. So yes, go to overkillcosmetics.com. Right now I have lipsticks on my site. I just launched 2 weeks ago. So that's what I have to offer, but I do have many, many more exciting products coming throughout the year. I just placed an order for a lot more things. So yes, keep an eye out. More stuff's coming, and I'm going to continue to grow and add to my products and really just run with this, because it's exciting. It's been amazing. The support I've had. Yeah, the color. Yeah, everyone's been very, who's bought stuff has commented and shared it and spread the word. So I've been off to a good start. So I'm continuing to hopefully, roll with that momentum and just go uphill from here.
Out of curiosity, is there anything coming up that you are super excited about, cosmetic-wise? Give us a teaser.
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I mean, I've the lipstick I'm wearing tonight might be a shade that's on my site right now. It's called Wine Drunk. Buy yourself one. And just a little tease, I have lip liners coming, so I might have one of those on right now with the lipstick. So yes, head to the site and keep an eye out. You can also subscribe to the email and know when things are coming. I'll be purchasing soon. Love 1987 and Wine Drunk especially, but getting all colors because they're great colors. Oh, thank you. Well, I have more lipsticks. Another thing, I have more lipsticks coming. I'm extending the shade range, so keep an eye out.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, I can't believe the irony. I'm wine drunk too.
Yes.
She's just having a small one tonight.
Yeah.
My doctor said 1 glass a day. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's amazing. Well, how about you, Fancy? What's keeping you busy?
Dead people.
How
I
about
know.
that?
I know, it's funny. No, so for those of you that do not know, I am now the diva of death care. Yes, honey, she's putting them in the ground one at a time, sometimes 2 at a time. Yes, I work for the death care industry now. I work at a cemetery, and I absolutely love it. It's weird, I know, but I love it. It's so unique. But I'll tell you this, it's literally, okay, so my whole, career as a drag queen, I've done birthday parties and weddings and, all these big happy celebrations. It's literally the exact same thing. It's just like doing a wedding. It's just a few extra flowers, one less person, it happens. But literally, I mean, the fact that I get to use my weird, freaky brand of comedy and unique style to help people cope with the tough times and prepare for the tougher, the toughest times in life, it's amazing. And I freaking love it.
That's wild.
Right?
You and I had a long talk about that when we were sitting as my car was like in a snowbank. Yay, that was a fun evening. And I applaud you for that, just because I couldn't. I don't.
It's interesting. So I work for, it's one of the largest death care companies that exists. Actually, we are the largest. I'm part of Dignity Memorial, which is part of Service Corporation International, which is even bigger. They just did an article on me for Pride Month. It went, they released it front page of our company intranet, and it was all about how I'm a drag queen and I utilize drag to kind of meld my worlds and, promote pre-planning and, talk about the death care industry with the LGBT community. And very interesting to see. I mean, most of the company, I got great reactions. Of course, there were a few people from certain states in our country that weren't so happy about it, that like a drag queen be on the front page of their company intranet. But it's so dang true, because literally, true facts, for those of you that don't know out there, when you die, and yes, we all will die someday, your next of kin is in charge of, that's the person that can make decisions about your, final farewell. Well, for the LGBT community, if you're not married, that goes to your next of kin, which could be your parents if they're still alive. If not, that goes to your siblings. Well, I know for me, I love my brother to death. I do. But he does not have the mental capability nor the style and savoir-faire that it takes to throw a funeral befitting of a queen, goddammit. So, like, I've got to plan this shit ahead of time. And trust me, I have. There's a book about this thick. So the poor schmuck that has to plan my funeral, my cousin, God love him, there's very detailed instructions. And I'm going to let y'all know. So that way, if he fucks it up when I'm dead, y'all can yell at him. All right?
Yes.
Challenge accepted.
Literally.
Well, and to tie in with that, this past week, there was a major Supreme Court decision, and that has rocked the entire United States. So there have been a lot of people saying, go out, get your power of attorney changed now.
Yeah.
You don't know what is next up on the docket. There have been news articles and whatnot, but, make sure you are taking care of yourselves, because our rights are on the line, kids.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a huge thing. Like, there's so many stories out there over the years that, like, trans folks that, when they passed away, they weren't married, whatever. So their next of kin was their parents, and they were estranged from their family. Parents got a hold of the remains, buried, a trans woman as a man, or vice versa. Like, we don't want to end up in that situation. And it's unfortunate, but folks in the LGBT plus community, we have to think about that stuff. And you've got to think about, who do you want making those decisions for you? What do you want to happen, with your remains? Do you want to be cremated? Do you not? It's crazy things to think about. But honey, I said, let's talk about it now while you're still alive and we can giggle about it, instead of when you're dead and we all have to cry about it.
So I have a question, Fancy.
Yes.
What if, so this is just all hypothetical, but obviously I'm married, so that would be who makes the decision. But if something happens where our rights are overturned, and then you'd said it would come down to the parents or whatever, well, I don't have any parents. So then where would it go from there? Like, and I also don't have any I really don't have any family. Like I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, but I don't see or talk to my sisters much. And my brothers and I are close.
Yeah.
Like, where would that fall for me?
So here's another. Okay, so that's a very good topic. So if you pass away and they can't, whether there is no family left or they can't find any family,
Yeah.
literally your remains will stay in possession of the coroner or whatever county you pass away in. If they cannot find family to sign for the remains, it doesn't matter. It actually, there was a situation up in Allentown. Very prominent person in the community, had been, he was older, but very involved in the community for years. Passed away. He had no will, had no any directives, nothing. They couldn't find any family. Luckily, in the 11th hour, they find like a distant cousin or something. But what happens is you become a ward of the state, and eventually, if there's money in your estate left, they'll assign it to an estate attorney who will then make determinations for on your behalf as to your final disposition. If there's no money left, you end up in a potter's field in a communal burial site that the state, puts their John and Jane Does and their unclaimed bodies in that are after cremated. And it's awful to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'll say this. And the other thing is, even if you have a spouse, things that, God forbid, but if something would happen to both of you at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
And it's like, if you don't have, and it's one of those things that people always say, oh, I'm too young to think about death. Now, of course, the hetero folks, I always tell them, oh, you have kids? Trust me, you thought about death. Because the second you have children, whether you're, gay, straight, or anything in between, once you have children, the first thing you have to do is pick godparents or something of the sort.
Yeah.
Well, that, in essence, you're selecting the people that take care of your kids if you die.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, as much as we don't want to think about it, honey, we got to think about it. And the other thing I always bring up, Lord love it, call it a little stereotypical, but, the rainbow sheep of the family, usually we get stuck dealing with some of those things because, all the straight folk in the family are like, oh, I have kids and a family I have to worry about. I don't have time for this. So you get stuck the one foot in the bill and or dealing with all the, the paperwork when a parent passes away.
Yeah.
It's like, if nothing else, you're going to have to plan that. So make sure your parents are pre-planned. Make sure they got their stuff in line so you don't get stuck with the bill.
Yeah.
Crazy girl.
We did get a comment here from Elvis Smith. What if I donate my body to science?
Okay, here we go. I deal with that too. When you donate your body to science, once science is done with your body, which they will be at some point, it's usually 2 to 5 years, they cremate your body and they send it back to your next of kin.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Yeah, so once science has had its way with you and done its thing.
Science is done with you.
Literally. We just did one the other day where, it had been like 5-6 years. They had just gotten remains back finally. And, you're cremated and sent back. And then, whatever disposition. But yeah.
Wow.
And trust me, nowadays, especially with cremation, they have gotten creative, girl. You can have, so we have this thing. It's off the coast of Miami. It's called Neptune's Reef. You can have your cremated remains mixed into like a cement-like mixture, and you become literally part of this living reef in the ocean. You can have your cremated remains sent into space. You can go into outer space, girl. Literally so many. Oh, you can be made into a diamond. You can have your remains made into a diamond, girl. I want all the diamonds.
I've heard of that. That's wild.
I
always
carbon.
I want to be cremated and sent to Mars. Thank you.
Yeah, girl. It's only like $15,000.
Yeah.
I have always had a very unhealthy relationship with death. I am mortified of it. It is my biggest fear. The idea of burial is mortifying to me. Mortifying. Anyway, I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm cheering myself up tonight. I want to be frozen.
Okay.
Have you encountered that yet?
I haven't specifically because we don't do it, but I've heard about it. And like I said, nowadays, especially with green options, it's as of now, I think it's only legal in Washington State. They can do it in Seattle. I know that. They have this, it's body composting. So basically what they do, and it's actually kind of a neat thing the way they do it. It's like this metal, like almost like basin looking thing. Almost looks like one of those old metal like tubs they used to use. They put the body in there, and it's like alfalfa and wood chips and flowers and all that stuff. And they have their little service, and then your body goes into this pod for like 2 months. And then when it's done, it accelerates the decomposition, and it comes out with this big vat of like mulch and fertilizer. The family has the choice that you can take the fertilizer with you and like fertilize plants on your property, or if not, you can have it donated, and then it goes to like a tree reserve where they replace trees and things like that.
Wow.
I know, right? They have another thing. It hasn't been legalized yet, but if you follow Caitlin Doherty on YouTube, she does Ask a Mortician. I love her. She does this one thing. I think it's out near Seattle too. This guy, he makes like feed blocks for animals, and he mixes in cremated remains for people that like literally want to, the circle of life, become food for the animals and all that.
Okay.
I was like, right, okay, girl, we love that. But wait, somebody made a comment. Hold on, let me go back and look. Who was it? Oh, it was Jeremy. Imagine that. So he said, "Put me in a pine box, call it a day. We Jews are simple." Fun story about that. So if you've got cultural, specificities, and the park I work at, we do, we're not specific to any religion. We're, what do they call it, non-sectarian, something like that. We've done Jewish burials, we've done Muslim, Chinese and Vietnamese Buddhist. I've done them all. And specifically Muslim and Jewish, they have to be in direct contact with the earth to return to the earth. But we still require vaults. So the way we get around that is we do bottomless vaults. So the vault protects the ground above it, so it's not sinking. The aesthetic is still there, but the casket or the body is directly in touch with the ground, because it's a bottomless vault. But that's kind of stuff. If you have those, specific things, you really need to think. People need to know that. You need to plan that ahead of time, or else God knows what somebody might do with you.
One of the most beautiful funerals I ever went to was for my dear friend Ginny, who passed very young. It still shocks me that she's not here, but it was the first time I had been to. It was a very they took parts of different like religious backgrounds and just made it a beautiful ceremony for her. And she was buried in New York. She was in a wicker casket.
Yeah.
So everything would biodegrade, including her.
Yeah.
And I believe this is a Jewish tradition. While we were there, she was being buried by the people who were there.
Yeah.
And I mentally was not prepared for that. Derek and I I think we were still just dating at the time. And spontaneously, I'm like, I have to go to New York for a funeral this weekend. I don't know how I'm getting there. Don't know how I'm getting back. And his mother got a hotel room for me and everything. But it was such a beautiful thing. Like, looking back now, I can process like how beautiful it was. But at the time I was like, I wasn't ready for half of this. I am not ready. I'm still not ready to say goodbye. And we're already burying her. While people were singing. And it was in retrospect, it was beautiful. In the moment, I was like, nope, not here. Not ready.
Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I've learned, so I've always had a weird infatuation with death and the death care industry. And now working in it, like I've learned even, so much more. But the biggest thing is, like anything, the more you're exposed to it, the more you're around it, the more natural and the more, I don't want to say normal it becomes, but it does become a little easier to process. And the biggest thing is, when you go to a funeral, especially when you experience things like that you're not expecting or you're not used to, it can be very triggering. And like I said, even though hindsight, it might be beautiful, if you're not ready for it in the moment, it can really catch you off guard. And I know specifically like Muslim and Jewish both, they usually, graveside, they will lower the body right there. And usually, sometimes symbolically, they'll just throw a couple shovelfuls or handfuls of dirt. Other times they will completely fill the grave in right then and there, like the family will. And like I was doing a Muslim service the other day, and I've done several, but this one specifically, I was like, oh, so in the Muslim custom, Jewish custom, they usually, has to be in direct contact with the earth. It's a wood casket, no metal, no hardware. Muslim, they usually take them out of the box and put just the body shrouded directly in the ground. And literally, like, several members of the family will climb down in the grave to lower the body in. So seeing that the first time was kind of like, oh, but this one in particular, I'd never seen this before. They actually uncovered his face once he was in the ground in position. Because in the Muslim faith, they have to position them, I believe it's on their left side. So they're facing Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
But when they actually uncovered his face, I was like, I mean, I've seen dead bodies before, but when you're not expecting that, it's just like, oh, oops, like, okay, wasn't expecting that one. But yeah, like, I mean, it just, if you're ever, going to a funeral for someone that, is a different faith or something like that, do your homework before you go. Just look up a YouTube video, something like that, because you never know what you're going to see. You may see some things that you're not quite expecting.
Yeah, that was the thing for me. And it, like I said, it was beautiful in retrospect, but in the moment I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't ready, but now I understand.
Yeah.
So on a different topic, because I think we talked about death. We'll come back to death later. Don't you worry. It's almost the end of Pride Month. And speaking of Pride, the two of you have been busting your butts for Pride. And I want to talk to SKARLET for a second, because you have organized all of the performers for Central Pennsylvania Pride this year.
Oh.
What was that like?
It's been a lot. I mean, obviously I started back in, like, I want to say
2001.
Yeah. Fresh out of the womb was playing this. No, I started back in like October, and I joined like the entertainment committee. At the time, Eric, who's now our Pride president, was the VP of entertainment. So he kind of oversaw that. And I kind of like joined in to help like plan benefit shows and perform at them and do things like that. And then when he moved up into his role of president of the Pride board, he was like, hey, we need a VP of entertainment. And, I'm like, well, I'm no stranger to entertainment and putting shows together and things like that. I've done it before. So I stepped into it, but it's like, it's different when you've done that before. It's different when you ask like 4 girls to come with you to a club and do a quick gig than it is planning both a drag stage where we have 39 entertainers for an entire, 7-hour show, and a main stage where we have bands playing and gay men and women's choruses singing and guest speakers. Then you have your headliners and things like that. All this, you're like reaching out to all these people. You're making the lineup. You are making sure that like the sound people get the music when they need it. It's a lot of work. You don't think of it when you originally sign up for it. But I mean, I've gotten to how can I say it? I've got to a rhythm of things where I notice what works, what doesn't. And yeah, like I said, it was a lot of work, but I'm excited. I mean, we haven't had Pride since July of 2019. 3 years it's been since we've had Harrisburg or Central PA Pride. So it's going to be so amazing to be back. I mean, the response that we've had from people, the amount of entertainers, vendors, everything that we have, like, I'm excited. I've done like all of us have a lot of events this month for Pride and you've been at different Pride festivals and things like that. So just the response that people have had that all these Pride festivals are back and they're getting to come out and interact with one another and see the drag and see the musicians or whatever it may be. So it's been great. Some days are stressful, but I've just been pushing through and really I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Good. What is your biggest piece of advice for anyone who is performing this year?
Well, I would probably say, ooh, that's a good one. Usually I say like stay hydrated and cool, but I want everyone to know that working my magic with the rest of the board, the tent for the drag entertainers is air conditioned this summer. So you do not need to worry about being stuck in a tent the size of a bathroom with no fans, no air, no nothing. Yes, like we've had in the past. So that was one thing, that was nice of me being put into the role of VP of Entertainment, planning all this, is that I knew what works, what doesn't work from being part of Pride in the past, whether I'm a performer. I mean, obviously in 2017, I was Miss Central PA Pride. So
this is your 5-year.
Yeah, this is my 5-year anniversary. It's crazy to think that
it's your 5 and my 10.
Yeah,
you're both old.
Yeah. But I kind of said like, hey, like, let's do things right. Let's really like appreciate the entertainers, because us entertainers do a lot of work leading up to Pride, doing benefit shows, and we're out there advocating. We're doing all this stuff, so it's like how hard is it to give us like an air conditioned tent? Like, you can do that for us, So yes, all the entertainers at Pride this year will also get paid and have an air conditioned tent. So I've
heard the tent is lovely.
Yes.
There was a very nice sponsor for the tent.
Who?
Inside the Drag Closet.
That's right.
Because we as well were kind of like, a 10 by 10 is not going to cut it.
No, not this time. No.
That's my dressing room alone.
That's we've had that happen before at Pride. We would all be in the tent, and then the headliner would come in and they'd be like, everybody out. Which, kudos to Alaska Thunderfuck for basically going, what do you mean you're kicking them out? Absolutely not. I'm going to do my meet and greet over here. They can keep working. If any of them has to get on stage, they cut the line for the meet and greet. I was like, that's an all-star.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember the time that me and Jade did a Pride where we were pretty much all up in the porta potties.
Oh my God, that was Reading.
85 years ago.
Oh my.
That was like
that was a party.
Something like that.
It was like me, Aida, Whitley, Gracie, God rest her soul.
Oh.
That was a crazy day. We got a good question here, and I want to ask both of you this question, and I want to answer it too. Orion wants to know, what has been the highlight of your Pride Month so far?
All right, I got one. So this is like, this was the moment this year that like, I was like, yep, this is why we do what we do. Long story short, I've had a very tumultuous relationship with Pride this year. I've had very mixed emotions. Pride is a huge deal for me. And like, it's been happening systematically, but like this year, I just feel like more so than anything, there's been this huge battle of like pride versus profit, and like people choosing profit over pride. So if you've watched my social media, there's been a few moments where I've had to burn my bra and go a little crazy to make a point that pride is about, Stonewall and where we've come from and all that, not about some people making money. So when I'm the reigning Miss Chester County Pride, at our Pride this year, I had Andrea Lamore. God love her. She is amazing. Andrea Lamore is a Black trans woman. She's also a pastor, and she's a United States Army veteran. Sickening.
Work.
So she's the reigning Miss Jersey Pride, South Jersey Pride, I think. So her and I are standing off in our crowns and taking pictures. And this family comes up to us, a mother and like 3 kids. And they're all like teenagers, and they come take a picture with us. And the one looks at Andrea and goes, "Thank you so much for being here. You're the first trans person I've ever met besides myself."
Oh.
Like, really ripped my heart, just ripped my heart out, stomping on the floor. And like, we sat and had a little conversation, and it just, those are the moments that like, that's what it's about. It's about visibility and giving this, sharing the history with this, these amazing, kids that are coming up, and just being able to pass that torch. It was so cool.
I love that.
That's great.
Scarlett, I want to throw this to you, but I did want to quickly there was a comment here that I wanted to share with everyone from Ellen and Bennett. Hi, ladies. I just wanted to pop on and say hi. I'm over visiting my mom, so I'll probably watch the replay tomorrow. My friend and I were at Divas at the beginning of June. She kept commenting how all the queens smelled so good. She wanted me to ask, what perfume or body spray do you use for shows, if any? Sorry, that was too good to pass up.
I mean, I'm like Marilyn Monroe, honey. The only thing I wear to bed is Chanel.
No.
How about you, Scarlett?
Number 5.
I don't know. I have quite for those of you who don't know, my friends know this for sure. I'm sure they'll comment. I am a perfume whore. I have about 40 different fragrances in my bathroom right now. Literally. I've spent too much money on it. So, but usually for shows, I wear Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, or Yves Saint Laurent. I usually wear one of those fragrances. So I just saw Trevor said, you have everything. I do. He knows from working at Sephora. Every time there was a deal or a sale or I had money, I would this fragrance, that fragrance. I mean, Ralph Lauren, like Chanel. Like I have so many fragrances. It's insane. It's like
I'm at the point where I can literally, like, if I'm at the club or really anywhere, but like if I smell a certain cologne, I will hunt the man down in the room and I'm like, you're wearing blah, blah, blah. And they're like, how did you know that? And I'm just like, I have the nose for it. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm at the point now where exactly what Orion just said, my perfume addiction. I'll smell someone at a grocery store. I know what they're wearing. Oh, you're wearing Dolce & Gabbana. Oh, you're wearing Gucci. Like, I know.
Meanwhile, I am usually cheap-ass cotton candy from Walmart.
Oh, wait. Okay. I had a moment.
Be a thing, girl.
Okay, here we go. For anybody that was at the most recent America pageant, Miss Gay Nipa America, we're backstage getting ready. The theme was 80s, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, I know that smell. Sean, God love him, had just soaked himself in the blue bod spray. I was like, yes, high school coming back to me now. Like, I felt like,
no, stop.
Down, bitch. All coming back to me now. Yes, it was.
Sad. Yeah.
That is amazing. So, to go back to Orion's question, what has been the highlight of Pride Month for you, Scarlett?
My highlight has been, so as everyone knows at this point, and if you don't, then you're gonna know now. Part of my journey of coming into my own and really like embracing my life and just being my true authentic self. Because I was on the non-binary episode of Into the Drag Closet. I've recently come out as non-binary. So I also, working with Pride, I'm also the pageant director for the Central PA Pride. So I went through and revamped the entire packet before we did the pageant this year and was like, we're not doing Mr. and Miss Central PA Pride anymore. It's just the Royals of Central PA Pride. No more binary terms. That's old and outdated. Sorry if you still use that, but you're lost, not mine. So I went through and changed that all. And with changing it, it really opened the door to the contestants we have. And I was excited that we had Carlotta Clark, one of our crowned winners, who is a Black trans woman. And Jade knows as a former, I'm a former, and you can easily go through and find, the formers of Central PA Pride. We've mainly been, just drag queens, basically. So the fact that I was able to come in, completely revamp the entire pageant and say, all are welcome, all are valid, we love all the drag. And then to have a Black trans woman crowned, made me so excited.
I am so grateful that we went away from, a lot of prides are going away from the Mr. and Miss, and I do appreciate that. I know Lancaster has an ambassador, which is the incredible Tamia Giselle Michaels, who I was chatting with before the show. Hi, Tamia. She's at North Beach right now with Laganja Estranja.
Hate her.
What other pride? York Pride is doing their Regent.
Yep.
I don't know that they did a pageant again this year. I think they're working on just I don't think there was a pageant this year because they were Equality Fest. Now they are York Pride. So they're working on the logistics of that. Sarah Besk was their title holder. I believe Sarah still is a beautiful non-binary human being. So yeah, I'm glad we're going away from trying to fit the mold of these heteronormative world.
I mean,
that was a big word for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right thing to do. I mean, we did have people who reached out and people who were interested in competing and things like that who were like, well, we want to because it's pride, it's for pride, but the whole binary thing, like I'm, people who are not, Mr. or Miss or whatever, or non-binary. It's like, well, I don't want to, as a non-binary person, represent a title that like I am, not really fully myself, or the title doesn't reflect me. And again, it is pride. We don't just have Mr. Miss. We have the non-binary, we have the trans, we have everyone else. Like we're such a wide, diverse group of people. So why not change the title and the pageant to reflect everyone, because it is pride.
I've been very impressed with a lot of people who are allies lately. For those who don't know, I did make the announcement recently that I am returning to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair this year. Wow. I am one of the new mud beggars. We had our first rehearsal the other day, and it was amazing. It was very uplifting. It was something I needed right now. And as soon as we started rehearsal, the one who's running the show, his name is Tom, amazing human being. One of the first things he said before we even started reading the script, he was like, first things first, we're changing the first line. We're getting rid of ladies and gentlemen. Find something that is not gender exclusionary. And I was like, he gets it.
So, okay, fun story. Somebody, Jade DeVere, gave me a line ages ago to replace ladies and gentlemen, and I thought it was ingenious. Ladles and gentle spoons.
I love that.
I can't.
At York Pride, we had the incredible Crystal Younglove, who is a strong woman, and she, what was her introduction? It was like, ladies, gentlemen, and the majestic they. It's like,
love that.
Ooh.
All right.
And there was some ladies in that audience who were all about her, and she was like, I do not mind this at all. There were other questions here. There was a lot going on in the chat today, which has been amazing. Where was it? It's funny, you mentioned about composting right as a couple of people talked about composting their bodies.
We love that.
Vicky had a question. It was jumping off of Scarlett's question. So would you want to place what you want to have done to you in your will if you don't have someone who is next of kin?
So it wouldn't go in your will specifically. You would basically drop an advance directive that would denote who would be your, I forget the exact term, basically who would be, the designee in charge of your final arrangements. And then in that you would, similar to a living will, but this would obviously be like, for after you've passed. And that's where you would get detailed in, this is the person designated to make decisions, and this is the directive I give them to do X, Y, and Z. But you want to make sure, like, you can write all that up and type it all up real pretty, but make sure it is fully and duly executed by a lawyer. So it can't be challenged, and it is, signed, sealed, delivered.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We have another comment here from Chanel, and this comment breaks my heart, but also gives me peace. Chanel, with me dying of cancer, I had to write my will and sign papers for what to do for my son and plan my funeral. The past few weeks have been hardest emotionally, but the weight has been lifted. I hate that for you, Chanel, but at the same time, I'm glad you found the peace from that.
And that, honest to God, is the biggest thing that I personally got out of pre-planning, with my family, and that I get out of helping people with pre-planning. Whether, it's obviously tougher in a situation like that where, death is imminent, it's terminal. But in any situation, whether, someone's sick or not, people say, oh, it's so weird, I don't want to talk about it. But when you get that peace of mind, that's what you're paying for. Obviously, you're locking in pricing now, so that way you don't deal with inflation by the time you pass. But you're getting that peace of mind to know that it's all taken care of. It's done, and you don't have to worry about it. The people that you're leaving behind won't be burdened with the financial or emotional burden of dealing with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. I got a quick question, and it's kind of been answered. Okay, Jade, I've been staring at the flag behind you. What does the circle mean on it? Yes, that is the intersex symbol. As we were talking about non-binary, intersex is equal and valid. Most people don't know about it because we don't talk about intersex enough. But we do have, actually, there are a few performers in this area who are intersex, and I'm not going to out them because that's not what we're here for. But I might reach out to see if they want to do the show. Haven't thought about that.
Yes.
For
those of you who don't know, there's literally, at this point, there's so many pride flags out there. There's one, and there's variations of the same ones. There's tons. So whatever niche you fit into, or, and you know what? If you fit into a niche that they don't have a pride flag for yet, bitch, create one. Philly did it.
True. Like one of my favorite ones, it's the yellow, black, and purple. Is that the non-binary one?
Yeah, it's yellow, black, purple, and white.
I just think it's beautiful. I love that color combination. Anything that has purple and yellow together, I'm in.
Yeah. I bought this Jeremy did at Gettysburg Pride. This guy will cut, I guess from what Jeremy was saying, takes wood and cuts it and forms it into and then stains it with colors. And then it's hanging in my kitchen right now. And it's the non-binary flag colors. And it's just this wood picture. It's really cool. He had this whole stand up there at Pride. But
speaking of artwork, we got a comment on some artwork earlier. Derek said something about the picture that's sitting on the ground behind you, Scarlett.
Miss Girl. So this is something Derek.
There it is.
This one's Derek painted for Jeremy. It's a picture of Trixie Mattel, who I don't know who that is, but she's on this picture.
Never heard of her.
Never met her. Never heard of her. Don't know who she is.
She must be new.
Apparently she is. Oh yeah, that's here in this bedroom because technically I'm in Jeremy's office, so
that works.
All right. So I have a fun game for us.
Ooh.
Yeah, talking about pride and colors.
Game on.
Yeah. So, for those of you out there, a little history lesson before we get into it. So, of course, with the recent SCOTUS decision, one of the things that was brought up in Thomas's writings is that there were several other cases that he thought that should be looked into being overturned possibly, which of course Oberkell v. Hodges, which was gay marriage, but also Lawrence v. Texas, which was literally the determination that made the acts of homosexuality, it got rid of that ban. So it basically legalized homosexuality. And that was in 2003. Homosexuality has only been legalized since 2003. Terrifying. Now, before all that, back in the dark days, as we call them, the homosexual people, you had to do things in secret and kind of code it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, still exists to this day that not many people know about is called the hanky code. I know.
Scandal.
So we're going to see how well these girls know their hanky code, and y'all can feel free to play along out there in, virtual land.
Oh, I hate this.
I know.
No.
I'm going to hold up a hanky, and y'all are going to try to guess what it means. So here's the first one.
I know some of these.
Here we go.
Okay.
White.
Vanilla. Wait, which pocket is it in?
Well, just in general.
In general.
I actually don't know a lot of I don't know really any of the Hank. Well, I read about them one time, but I don't remember.
Just use your brain. Think about it. What does white represent?
Semen.
Close. White stands for masturbation, or JO.
Okay.
And depending on which side you wear it, means like, well, as it says here, one is beat my meat, and the other side means I'll do it for both of us.
Okay.
You like to go skiing. It's fine. All right, here we go. Your next one. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Beige.
Beige.
Fluorescent beige.
I want to say that this is beige. Is it like
a lighter shade of brown? We'll put it that way.
Oh, I hate that.
Ew, I know. Wait, why? We get what Jeremy just said in the chat. Scat. Why is it scat? No,
that's brown. No, it's rimming.
Rimming. Okay.
Oh,
the art of analingus, as it were called.
Okay.
Now this one's going to throw you for a loop. Here we go. This one makes me giggle. Lime green.
Lime green.
Specifically lime green?
Yes, lime. Specifically lime.
Specifically lime. Because I know green is a financial transaction.
Yes, Kelly green is you're a hustler or looking to hire.
Okay.
But lime green.
Full disclosure, I looked these up when someone wore a hanky dress to Divas Down Under, and we were like, what does your dress mean? And we Googled it all.
I feel lime green. I don't know. It just popped in my head. A little 420.
Not quite. Jade was a little close. So depending on which side you wear it on, means they want dinner, but the other side is willing to buy dinner.
Oh, I want someone to buy me dinner.
Kind of like a sugar daddy a little bit.
Yeah, someone buy me dinner.
Keeping along those lines, in hunter green. It's hard to see, but that is green, hunter green.
Okay, so keeping the lines of buying dinner. We're still on that trend, kind of.
Who's buying dinner?
Oh, the top or the bottom?
Close. We'll put it this way. There's a big difference between dad and daddy. One of them pays for everything until you turn 18. The other one pays for everything after you turn 18.
Oh!
If it's on this side, that means you're daddy. If it's on the other side, it means you want to be the boy.
Oh
my.
I know, right?
Oh my, this is crazy.
All right, here we go. Now we're going to get real crafty.
You kids in the chat over there, you're Googling this. I can tell.
I know, right?
Yeah, they are.
Or they're just kinky. We never know.
That's
right,
true.
Here we go. This is hard to get, but apricot.
Apricot.
Oh, you went all in on the obscure colors, didn't you?
I know, right?
You got them all. Every single one.
This one's near and dear to my heart.
Apricot. Is it something to do with...
I want to say porn, since you said it was near and dear to your heart.
Corn.
Okay.
Porn. P-O-R-N. Porn.
Oh, I think
okay. Here's a better hint. It's near and dear to my thighs.
Near to your thighs?
What?
Is it
chubby chasers?
Okay.
Ah.
Now here's my thing. Okay, if you wear it on one side, it's a chubby chaser. The other side means you're chubby. Here's my thing, bitch. If you have to wear a goddamn hanky to tell them you're chubby, you ain't that chubby, bitch. You don't need a hanky to tell the world you're chubby. Here we go. This is a fun one. Just straight up orange.
Wait. Orange means... Oh, I looked this up one time, but I wish I remembered. Can we get a hint?
All the hints, literally. It means anything, anytime.
Okay. Was it anything? Yeah, anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
All right.
Anything goes. And
literally.
It's a glimpse.
There you go. Sutton Foster. Okay, here we go. This should be an easy one, kids. This should be easy.
Water sports.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say urine.
Okay, if you've never seen another gay movie or another gay sequel, there's an entire like soft shoe tap number that's all about water sports. It's ingenious. Some drag queen needs to do that number.
Wait, orange means you love Raymond McIntyre?
I
These
mean,
comments are a mess.
These comments are out of control.
literally,
Next week on Inside the Drag Closet, we have an intervention for our viewers.
it's fine. All right, now this one should be for all. This one goes for all of our audience members out there. You're all flagging this one. Lavender.
Lavender.
We're sitting right here.
Hi, how you doing?
Literally, it means you like drag queen.
Yes, I knew that one. I knew that one. I did know.
She's flagging lavender, honey. All right, now what about purple? Straight up purple.
Oh wait, purple's different than
It
lavender.
is.
I want to say something connected to femininity.
Maybe. Let's just say it involves holes
Purple is a glory hole. I don't know.
in your body. It's for piercing or the piercer or piercing.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. All right,
Interesting.
we have a few left. We're down to, I think, 4 left. Here we go. This one is considered teal.
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 Sorry, Este's comment got me. Which hanky says I'm selling essential oils and you can be your own boss, babe?
Literally. That would be anything goes. That'd be orange. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, so
Teal.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't.
Oh, it is a good one, hon, if you're into it.
Is it fisting? I don't know.
No, it is CBT, not CBD, CBT.
Oh, cock and ball torture.
Yes.
I know that.
All right.
I am the vanilla one.
Who knew? All right, here we go. This is what they call Air Force Blue.
Air Force. There's so much.
Military?
Damn.
Military fetish?
Not quite.
Military.
Think about who's in the air.
Is it like? Is it Mile High Club or something like that?
Flight attendants and pilots.
Okay.
So, like, if you're a flight attendant, clearly you're homosexual. I mean, you have to be a flight attendant these days. But if you like flyboys, as they call them, you wear them on the other side. We love that.
Huh.
I know, right? Okay,
Interesting.
here we go. Red.
Red. Wait. I feel like
Somebody already said it. You already said it once.
Is that fisting?
It is.
that's what I was gonna say because I was thinking, yeah, but
Now, for future reference, so this is good to know in case you ever go to any kind of kink events. The color you wear, honey, says a lot about you. And dark red, if this were a darker shade of red, it would be double fisting.
What does the McDonald's napkin in my back pocket tell people at the gay bar? That you don't respect yourself.
Literally.
I can say this because that's my boyfriend. It means that you're a fat bitch. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's fine. Oh, so there's a comedian out there. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he does a thing about the modern hanky code, or what should be the modern hanky code. And he says we need to come up with a code that doesn't tell people your fetishes. It tells people like your personality.
Yeah,
That's valid.
Right. And literally he goes through and he says, talks about like this one is cold and withholding. This one is like, is possessive about their cell phone. He's like olive drab. He's like olive means they don't like golden girls and you can kick them. And it's true.
As well you should.
Literally, not like golden girls.
Literally. All right, we have one left. Here we go.
Orion wants to know where they can get their certificate for completion for this class.
Absolutely.
We'll send you one, Orion.
Actually, I can tell you exactly where to get it in just a moment.
Ooh.
Here we go. Are we ready? Our
Yes.
final one. It is, we're going to call this, I don't know if it's technically the shade, but it's Robin's Egg Blue.
Robin's Egg Blue.
You know the homosexuals went that detailed, bitch. Robin's Egg. There's that many shades of blue.
I want to say dominant top.
Think math. Think numbers.
Numbers.
69.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
69. We love that. Oh, 69. See, look, I even wore my nice red, my little red blouse today, just for the occasion.
Estee Lauderdale, mine would be a doily.
Oh no, wait, that's one too. White lace.
What?
White lace means you like. Oh no, see, that's just hateful. It means you like white bottoms.
No.
I know, right?
No.
Holstein? What does that mean? Cow print?
Yeah.
Oh, that means you're into milking. I don't know what that means exactly, goddammit, but
It means making them come and come and come. Why do I know this?
girl, she's
Yeah,
been
Holstein.
watching too much of the.
Milking, yeah.
So Orion asked where he can get a certificate of completion. Well, Beronce already answered it for me, honey. Yes, you can get that at World Bear Weekend in Orlando, Florida, this September, girl.
Yes.
Which poster was that?
Any one of the three with you. There we go. So, Beronce, I have to change your picture on there. I know. I'm sorry. I'll get to it this week. I've been busy. But yes, we've got some fabulous events.
Hello.
It'll be at down in Orlando, Florida. There'll be the World Bear competition, but we'll also have our fabulous Vixens and Villains show with me and Beronce. Of course, my darling daughter Aloe Vera will be there. Our lovely porn star Silver Steel and Otto Sampson will be there, turning it out for you. We also have our live.
Ooh.
It's a superhero and villain theme. We'll have our live X-Men or XXX-Men show. Yes. Some lovely gentlemen will be doing naughty things live and in person, honey. You can so close you can reach out and touch them. And then, of course, we'll have our big old glow pool party. That'll be the evening pool party where we'll have some lovely boys there go-going. During the day, you can catch Beronce there twerking it and doing her live. Girl, please. You've had worse things on your face, Miss Beronce, in public. I've seen the stories. I've heard it.
Girl, I'm gonna have to book myself a trip to Orlando. Those some of those men, honey.
Oh, I know, girl. Well, see, she used to be Miss Gay Hot Movies. She knows all the cute boys.
Uh-huh.
And one of them may or may not be my daughter. Girl,
I've asked her to be on this show so many times, and she always ghosts me. Aloe.
Well, she busy, honey. She got split personalities.
That's true.
Are you trying to book Aloe Vera or Aaron Harley?
At this point, either.
Follow her on Instagram, Aloe Vera Stratton, or you can follow her on OnlyFans at Aaron Harley XXX.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna blow her up for a second just because I'm like, I've done so many gigs with her and I have seen her buck ass naked so many times that I'm like, girl, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Where?
At this point, I mean, I feel like Kris Kardashian, like with the camera, I'm just like, look at you go, baby. Yeah. Like, it's terrible. I'm exploiting the hell out of my children. I'm selling them and exploiting their bodies. I mean, it makes a buck, girl.
Right? Estee Lauderdale says, someday I want to be featured in a Speedo on a poster, a wanted poster or otherwise.
I mean, girl, I've been featured on certain things in Speedos, but, well, let's just say they weren't posters.
Yeah. I saw you at the Woods.
I mean, what? Oh, you mean where Jade almost died?
Oh, God. That whole weekend was just...
Jade learned the hard way that when you go in a pool in full drag, your pads saturate with water and will drag you to the bottom.
Yeah.
I regretted nothing.
I mean, it's
Absorb all that water. Suck it all up. Yeah.
I have to find that picture now because that was a moment of self-therapy for me because I had found out a friend of mine had passed away that morning and I was not in a good mental state. So I was like, I need to do something fun for me. So I went into the pool.
Jade was sucking up all the water in the pool and I was sucking up all that. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. We're in public. We are in public. And later the 8th graders are going to see a play about how to be that popular.
No. No, they will not.
Thank you, Golden Girls.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there she is in the pool.
It was a mommy hun. That was before she sunk to the bottom.
Right. after I kicked my shoes off and hit Aurora with them.
Well, these things would happen.
So since we inadvertently segued to it, talking about teaching the children and being educational, earlier in the show, I pointed out, like, pay attention to what's going on, everyone. There was a Supreme Court ruling this week, which has rocked the world. And while we were so distracted by that, 2 Don't Say Gay bills passed the Pennsylvania Senate Education Committee. That's right, Pennsylvania. They are trying to eliminate us here as well. I'm going to read from the article I found. Thank you to my daughter, Mona Moorhead, for posting this. On June 21st, the Pennsylvania Senate Educational Committee passed 2 wide-ranging anti-LGBTQ plus bills that LGBTQ advocates are calling worse than Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. The first bill, sponsored by Senator Ryan Aument of Lancaster, would require parents to be notified and have the option of opting out of their child having access to books in libraries and classroom materials that contain same-gender relationships and references to homosexuality. The second bill, sponsored by Senator Scott Martin of Lancaster as well, and called the Empowering Families in Education Act, would ban classroom instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation for pre-kindergarten through 5th grade, require that teachers comply with state standards for age-appropriate teaching of gender and sexual education in grades 6 through 12, and essentially require teachers to disclose the student's gender or sexual orientation to parents or guardians, and there are many other provisions with that. Any thoughts?
I just have one thing to say. Gay.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey.
Like,
One of my favorite Saturday Night Live sketches over the last couple of years was Kate McKinnon right after the Don't Say Gay bill came out in Florida. And she's talking about how great it is that people can't be called gay anymore. And Colin Jost turns to her and goes, "That's not what it is." And her response is just, "Katie Bourbon and I have been saying this for weeks." And it's literally, what? Like, we exist, people. I understand not trying to teach sex to children. That makes perfect sense. However, when you say you cannot discuss gender identities, that means every kid is now non-binary.
Yeah.
Every teacher must use a MEX title.
I don't understand the whole not teaching kids sex thing because, like, I remember I was in 5th grade. I was 10 years old, and we had sex education in our school. Like, so, and now, I mean, I graduated high school. We're not going to say how long ago. I'm young. Who, me? But no, like, we were learning about that already as young children in school because it was, there were a couple girls in my graduating class who got pregnant in high school and didn't graduate and things that happened. So obviously teaching us, sex ed and what happens if you have sex and things, all that stuff, young, I think it should be taught to children. It's 2022. Please tell me a TV show that you're not going to turn on that has some kind of sexual reference in the TV show. Kids are seeing this. They're hearing this. They know about it. So why are we acting like they can't, that we need to shelter them from this? They're going to learn about it eventually, no matter how old they are, where they learn it from. They're going to learn it eventually. So, and again, it's 2022. Gay people, queer people, non-binary, trans, we exist. We're here. We're not fucking going anywhere. So get used to it. Get on board with it.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Mr. Williams pre-K on TikTok?
No.
Oh my God. He is this delightful gay man. I didn't know where he was from. He lives in Westchester. Who the hell knew? But he has a TikTok. He's TikTok famous. And it's all about him like being a pre-K teacher. Hysterical. Well, on top of that, he recently just quit his job. One of the many reasons, but one of them, during Pride Month, he would wear like Pride shirts to school, like t-shirts. And literally they would be like HRC t-shirts, or like it would just say Pride, like basic. He was literally called to the principal's office and told he could not wear them. And the excuse they gave was, you're not allowed to wear graphic tees. Well, you are, especially on like their Fridays, I guess, were like casual Fridays. There was a female teacher that was wearing a graphic tee that the principal had actually given her that said, and I quote, "bun in the oven," with an arrow pointing to her very pregnant stomach. Talk about, and they said that his shirts were too sexual, just saying pride. That shirt, bun in the oven, literally is read between
It
the
might
lines.
as well say, I fucked.
Right. I fucked my husband.
Exactly.
And he didn't wear a condom. He shot a load up in me. What? Like, no.
Estee hit the nail on the head right here. It's not protecting kids. It's protecting adults who can't be bothered to talk about uncomfortable topics with their own children.
That.
And the crazy thing, the thing that boggles my mind more than anything else is it's a very simple, straight couple talks about it. You know how mommy and daddy love each other? Well, these two guys love each other the same way. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. That's the end of the conversation.
Like, and you know that awkward conversation that parents have been having with children for eons now? The difference between boys and girls, and, you know, boys have something different between their legs than girls do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fun conversation any parent wants to have. But guess what? You have to have it. And guess what? Now you just have to expand that conversation to say, well, honey, it doesn't matter what's between someone's legs. It just matters who they are as a person.
Exactly.
Easy.
That's what I said. What I said earlier. Like, we're here. We're not going anywhere. You know, it's just going to take that one kid to go home and be like, hey, mommy and daddy, like, I saw this person out in public, or this person on TV or whatever. Why do they look like that? Why do they dress like that? Why they sell, you know what I mean? Then the parent has to explain that. Like, so I just don't get it.
Because trust me, kids are notorious for, like, kids say the darndest things.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are, like, brutally honest, and I mean, I admire that. I like the children. But, like, okay, like, if somebody's a big pimple in the middle of their forehead, adults know enough to not say anything about it. A
Kids
little
don't.
5-year-old, kids are just gonna be like, what's that big, like, thing on their forehead? Like, they're gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so if a kid doesn't know any better and they see two men holding hands or two women, you know, kissing, they're going to ask questions. They're going to make a comment. And it's like, yeah, it's going to happen, people. The same way you might see a man and a woman holding hands. It happens. It's a thing.
I keep on going back to, like, it brings me so much joy to see same-sex couples holding hands in a public environment.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at the New Jersey Ren Fair this year, I was very blown away by how well received my character was. I played a drag queen this year. And, you know, I give huge credit to Elizabeth Hardon, who, all credit to her, she did it first at the PA Fair. And she did it in such a way that it was beautiful. I wanted to take elements of that, but make it my own. And her and I talked a bit, and, like, our characters are so different now. But the level of acceptance at that fair and the level of comfort, like, we realized our fair happens during Pride Month, and the overwhelming, beautiful queerness that happens at that fair, the very straight, cis directors came to me and they were like, thank you for pushing this, because we didn't know that this would work, and you showed us that it would work. And I'm like, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, we exist.
Honest to God.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned earlier that my company did this big story on me about being a drag queen and utilizing that platform, you know, talk about death care. This is the first job I've ever had that I've been out at, like, ever. And I mean, when I tell you, I played it cool to everybody, but, like, I didn't tell anybody in my office that article was coming out. And when it did, and everyone in my office, one by one, was just like, oh my God, I saw the article. Oh my God, I saw the article. Like, part of me was like the anxiety I went through. Because it was, for me, being of a certain age, it was terrifying. Because, I mean, I just started in corporate America again the past year. 10 years prior to that, I was a full-time drag queen. So, yeah, I was out to everybody. But before that, all my careers, I worked at a school, I worked for an electroplating company, and I worked for my fraternity. I wasn't out at any of those jobs. Like just telling people that I'm gay was a huge deal for me at work, especially in the death care industry, which is super heteronormative.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying, because like obviously before I got into work with like Ulta and Sephora and doing drag more, I worked in healthcare, and a lot of the times it was like working in these nursing homes or these places where it was all older white straight people who they grew up in the 40s, so it was all masculine, feminine. The man works, the woman stays home, kind of thing, you know. So there was a lot of people that I worked with or for in that industry and those facilities who didn't even know I was gay. You know, I didn't talk. I never brought up.
Their eyesight must have been going.
What?
Their eyesight must have been going then.
No, but like I hit a lot of things, and no, it's funny you say that their eyesight, because I remember even trying. There were certain facilities for where I like got to work, and it's so disheartening saying this, but being like, I need to go in there and I need to act straight, like telling myself in the back of my head, because I didn't want people to know that I was gay. And I'm like, how can I, as someone who, you know, is doing drag and makeup and wants to eventually pursue this and make this my life, how do I now walk into this work and be like, hey, what's up? And like act straight. You know what I mean? Like how do I do that? And you just have to like disassociate your real life from your work life, because you don't want people to know, because you're afraid of what's going to happen.
But even just on that basic level, like the code switching, I mean, it's real. And like, especially people, you know, from our generation and older, it feels awkward saying that, we're old. For the people born in the 1900s, like, I mean, just a simple question of like, oh, it's the company Christmas party coming up. Oh, are you going to bring your wife?
Yep.
And you're like, oh, I'm not seeing anybody right now. Even if you were seeing someone, it was like, you'd still lie and say like, oh no, I'm not. Or you take, you know, some like some girlfriend of yours, because you had to play the game. You know what I mean? And it just a little like one of the guys I work with now. So one of the other guys in my office is a friend of mine from, you know, the neighborhood in Philly, whatever. And I was out at work, but like I didn't talk about it. Well, he has a husband, and like he came in and just without even hesitating would say, oh yeah, my husband this and like part of me would get like this little ball of anxiety every time, like waiting for somebody to say something to him and like being ready to pounce. But it just, we shouldn't have to be afraid to just talk about ourselves the way anybody else would, you know?
Yeah. When I got hired at Hershey, I decided from day one, I'm not afraid of it. And it has been wonderful. And, you know, they still have some things they need to work on. They are a huge business, but they're doing great advocacy so far. But from the very first day, I was like, I got this job because I'm getting married and I'm going to have a husband. And I've heard rumblings that some people are like, we get it, husband, you don't have to shove it down our throats. I'm like, you don't know my husband's name, so I'm not going to say Derek flippantly. I'm going to explain that he's my husband. And people are like, ugh. And I'm like, you say your husband all the time. What's the difference? So, but aside from like small things like that, being unafraid, like that's what all of these laws are trying to do. They're trying to push us all back into the closet. They're trying to just get rid of us, and we're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, we exist, and it's the advocacy work that the three of us do all the time. Yeah. That is important. I was going somewhere with that, and I got heated in my head, and I was like,
I was gonna like piggyback off of that, and also I see Estee Lauderdale put, I still can't hold hands with another man in public. I hate that, but it's real. But why can't you? You know, that's something that I've always talked about with my partners for a while, and been like, this is what I want to do. I want to go out, like, if that man and woman can walk in the store and be all over each other and holding hands and kissing, and maybe he's touching her butt or whatever, why can't I do that with you in the grocery store? You know, they as a straight couple can do it and they feel comfortable enough doing it. Why can't I do that? Just do it. Just go out and just do it. And, you know, and it got to the point where, you know, one of the nice things about when I finally embraced who I am and came out as non-binary and things like that, I finally decided, you know, like all these things that I've been, you know, pushing aside. And when I say aside, like under the rug, because I'm like, oh, I'm afraid that if I go to the store, you know, I have full acrylic nails, carry a purse. If I do things like this, like, is someone gonna like look at me the wrong way at the grocery store? Are they gonna say this? I'm like, no, this is who I am. You know what I mean? If I want to walk in a grocery store in a fucking pink dress, my purse, and my acrylic nails while I get my fucking vegan burger, then guess what? That's how I'm gonna fucking shop. And if you don't like the way I look or how I present myself in public, look another fucking way. This is me. This is who I am. This is how I want to represent myself. This is how I feel comfortable dressing, acting, talking, whatever. I don't need to hide who I am or dumb my personality down for you because you're uncomfortable. That's not my problem. That's your problem.
I think more people need to live that way and be like that, because I feel where Estee is coming from. Like, I'm afraid to hold Derek's hand in public.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it once, and it was at Epcot. We did it once at we went to see fireworks a couple of 4th of Julys ago, and like I scooted close to him and put my arm around his, and some a-hole behind us was like, "Hey, there's kids here, knock it off." And I'm like, we're not doing anything, dumbass. But yeah, it's all of this political theater that's going on right now. It's to distract us from other stuff. And sadly, the queer community, we are the scapegoat right now. Like, we are the target. Yes, the abortion ruling is disgusting and despicable. They went after women. They're going to go after the queer community. Everyone should be upset now. Don't wait until they're like, hey, it's your turn. Be upset now.
Exactly.
The biggest thing is, bless the simple-minded folk, but like us crazies, us liberals or whatever you want to call us. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really ADD. I can multitask really well. I can be mad about a lot of things at one time. I sure can. And like, trust me, just because you got me mad about, taking away women's right to choose doesn't mean I can't still be mad about January 6th, honey. I can still pay attention to those hearings and still be mad that, that all happened. And, the more that it keeps coming out on this, like, I mean, it was bad enough, obviously, just watching it on TV. But now really hearing all the details about how much they knew and how, I mean, like, they legitimately were trying to, like, it's not speculation anymore. Like, there is hardcore evidence. Yeah, I can still be mad about that too. And be mad about Roe v. Wade. And be mad preemptively about them trying to come for my rights, and gay marriage and things like that. Yeah, hon, I can be mad about all of that. And guess what? You don't want to deal with a bunch of angry homosexuals, honey. We're crazy.
We're a lot to deal with when we're slightly inconvenienced.
Literally.
For real.
Like, oh.
Well, kids, shall we get to Derek's helpful drag tip of the week?
Oh my, let's do it.
This one's a fun one. This is good advice, mostly for drag performers, but this is good advice for everyone out there.
Just the tip, though.
Just the tip.
Oh.
Derek's helpful drag tip. It's never too late to reinvent yourself.
Ooh.
That's the way I take that is, if you're a hateful, terrible person, you can still fix it, girl. I promise.
Yeah.
Somebody told me this. Okay, so here we go, girl. Okay, so sometimes people say things like, you never realize like how much you're impacting somebody, and the little things you say, people will remember for the rest of their lives. When I was in college 5 years ago, I went into this conference and there was a speaker. His name was Dr. Will Keim. Amazing. Find him. He's great. But one of the things he said was, first thing was, life is not Disney World. At Disney World, you pay your ticket, you go see your rides, all that stuff. He's like, and if you don't hit everything in one day, you can go back the next day. Nope. Life is it's a one-shot deal. You get one chance to do it. So do it right. And the good news is, though, when you wake up in the morning, it doesn't matter who you were yesterday. You get to choose who you want to be today.
Mm-hmm.
Make the right decision.
Ooh, I like that. Scarlett, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I agree. I'm all about basically what Fancy said. You got to live in the now. The past is the past. It happened. You don't have a time machine. This isn't Back to the Future. You can't go back and change it. The future, you have no idea what that holds or what's going to happen. So all you can do is live in the now and make it the best, you know?
Yeah.
But literally, like, subpoint, as they say, the past, learn from it, because if not, you're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
part right there. Estee Lauderdale wants to be Burt Reynolds when she wakes up.
I don't want to be Burt Reynolds when I wake up. I want to wake up with him in my bed, like him from like 80s.
Oh, 80s Burt Reynolds? Yeah.
Burt Reynolds from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Burt Reynolds.
Oh.
Like the Golden Girls episode. Burt Reynolds. Yes. The Burt Reynolds dinner theater.
Oh, I love that. Well, ladies, we've got 5 minutes left. I want to play a little game with the two of you.
Ooh.
It's a very quick game. It's something I've started doing recently on the show.
The last time somebody said that to me, I got pregnant.
Well, that happened. Well, that's how geisha happened.
Literally, because I wasn't allowed to have an abortion, goddammit. Screw you, Texas.
Yikes.
Anyway, so, fancy dismount. What is one question you've always had for Scarlet Overkill?
Oh,
Oh my.
I mean,
Not like this. My mullet wasn't ready.
I know, right?
I love this game.
I know, right? Oh God,
This is a tricky one because we all know each other.
I'm just like, what do I want to know? Okay, here's a fun one. Oh, okay. This is my favorite question, just to everybody in general, because I have an obsession and it's terrible. What is your favorite underwear brand?
Ooh. That's a hard question because 9 times out of 10 I prefer to go commando. Yes. So I'm just flipping and flapping and flopping around down there. But if I do wear underwear, actually, if I do wear underwear the other 1 time out of 10, I like Rihanna's Savage X Fenty line. Nice underwear. I got some socks from there. Nice underwear.
Yeah, I get all the ads with all the thick and juicy men's that she uses for her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, she definitely intrigued me with that line. I just haven't purchased yet. Maybe I'll have to try that now. Trust me when I tell you, I have like 3 drawers full. I have so much underwear that like I haven't even worn yet. It's like set aside for like some bear or leather event, like because it's perfect for a certain theme party.
Yes.
Terrible.
I like that. Well, Scarlet Overkill, what is one question you've always had for Fancy Dismount?
Who's your favorite drag child and why?
God. Does it have to be my drag children?
Yeah. Who's your favorite one and why?
Jersey Beaches.
Oh, I like that name.
God love her. So that was my very first drag child. She sadly laid her career to rest.
Oh.
And she has gone back to the ways of just being a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's probably my favorite child just because of the way it happened. Literally, this child back in the Beagle days when I used to work at the Beagle Tavern in Norristown comes up to me. Well, his friends came up to me and were like, "Our friend Trevor thinks you hate him." And I was like, "Who?" They're like, "Trevor." I'm like, "Who the is that?" They're like, "Him over there." And I was like, who the fuck is that? Apparently, he tried to hook up with my old roommate one night, and it was like a really bad night. You remember my old roommate, Jade?
Mm-hmm.
A hot mess. It had been a real hot mess evening. It got real awkward and just crazy.
Now I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Exactly. And he was trying to hook up with my roommate, and it was just like not the right time. And I was just like, I literally wanted to like kill him. And then like, but like I was mad at my roommate, but he was just like in the picture. And then like, you know, I didn't know who he was. He was just some random fool trying to hook up with my roommate. Well, then like 2 months later, he's like at my bar and asked me to be his drag mother. And I'm just like, what? Okay, sure. Oh, yeah. And that was how I became a mother for the first time.
I love that.
Terrible.
So I just got an interesting comment here to turn the tables on me, apparently.
Oh,
Josh Evans would like to know, Jade DeVere, what is one question you always wanted to ask us, the audience?
Oh.
I do have a question for everybody. And this is something I've asked before, but we're going to do it again. Everybody out there, who do you want to see on Inside the Drag Closet? Any drag performer from anywhere. Shoot me an email at InsideTheDragCloset@gmail.com with all of your suggestions. I'm going to try to reach out to as many as I can because I want to get more drag on here. Obviously, I want to start reaching out to even more kings. We have featured a lot of kings. I want to get more kings. I want to get more gender nonconforming performers. Who are the performers you would like to see on Inside the Drag Closet? Yeah,
okay.
That's my question.
On
Yeah.
very unrelated notes, but very related. Have y'all seen that new show? It's like the RuPaul's Drag Race for Go-Go Boys.
No.
It's called Go-Go for the Gold.
Interesting.
Oh.
It's hosted by Johnny McGovern. God love him.
Mm-hmm.
But a few friends I know have made it on. One in particular is this guy named Paolo. Oh my God. He's like a leather daddy muscle, just like bodybuilder, but he's also a trans man. And I'm just like,
oh, okay, work.
When I tell you this man is oh, beautiful. I need to work. And of course, go figure, my drag mother knows him personally. And I'm just like,
Of course you do.
She always knows literally all the men she knows. I'm just like, how do you know that? Send them my way. Thank you.
We have one more question here. We are past our time, but I figure we're having a good time. So we'll get to one more question. Jason would like to know, what would be one piece of advice you would give to a new drag queen?
Don't do it.
That's it.
Oh, he already knows what piece of that. So, fun fact: Jason is my drag daughter. So he already knows the advice I would give is just have fun. Be yourself and have fun.
Do the drag that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like, don't do the drag that you see everybody else doing unless that's what you want to do. Do the drag that brings you joy.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I'm not kidding. The drag daughter I mentioned earlier, literally, the first, when she asked me, I was like, no, don't do it. I'm literally that queen. I'm like your great aunt so-and-so that sits there chain smoking, telling you, don't smoke, it's bad for your health. I'm that queen, sits there in full drag. I'm like, don't do it. It will drain your bank account. It will drain your soul. I mean, here's my thing. Don't do it unless you're ready to do it, because it's a lot.
It is.
But yeah, if you're going to do it, baby, when it stops bringing you joy, stop doing it.
Yep.
And that's anything in life, really.
Yeah.
True. Well, kids, we have reached the end of our time here this evening on Inside the Drag Closet, but I want to give my lovely sisters here a chance to say goodnight to all of you. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I guess I can. That's fine.
Go for it.
Yeah. So thank you, Jade, so much for having me back. This feels like the first episode. Jeez, we haven't all been together in such a long time. So great to see you, FANCI. Congrats on your, journey with your health and wellness. You look fabulous. Thank you to all the viewers who watched, everyone who tuned in. The questions, the comments were amazing. And yeah, go to overkilledcosmetics.com, grab some lipsticks. I have much more product and items coming this year, so check it out. Support a small queer-owned business. It is Pride Month still. And with that being said, yeah, have a good night.
I love that. FANCI, it's your turn.
All right. So as we're winding out of this Pride Month, remember that Pride is not just a month. It didn't, Pride Month wasn't even a thing until a few years ago. Pride is a 365 thing. It's all the time, every day, every minute, every hour. So, be proud of who you are and where we've come from and where we're going. That being said, just remember that we have a place at the table and at every table, and make sure you take up your space at that table and get you some, honey. The world is not pie. By us taking a piece doesn't mean somebody else gets less. It is, it is all abundant, honey. So get yours. Follow me on all my social media. Everything is at FANCI DISMOUNT, fancy with an I. That's right, honey, with a little heart over it because I'm cute like that. But yeah, follow me on all my socials. If you're interested and have more questions about death and dying, I will be hosting if you're in the Philly suburban area, I'll be hosting on July 16th. I'll be hosting a death car seminar about, making final arrangements and pre-planning. So you can check that out. I'll also be hosting a virtual one in the future. So keep your eye on my Facebook for that. But thank y'all so much for hanging out with us and making this a fun night. Make sure you come see us this Friday at Divas Down Under. Yes, there it is right there. We will be turning it out for y'all. I haven't been to Divas since before the pandemic, I think.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So come check it out. And then next weekend, I will have my regular shows. We'll be in the King of Prussia at the King of Prussia Diner for our Hot Girl Summer. And then next Saturday will be our Ladies of Lansdale, which is going to be our TV Land TV theme show. So come check us out. I got all the good gals. We will be twirling for you. FANCIDismount.com. Get all your tickets for all the good shows. See you soon.
Yes.
That's fantastic. I want to thank the two of you for joining me this evening and convincing me to be a ginger like the two of you. This was a lot of fun. I am so glad I got to share this evening with you. I thought tonight would be rough, and it really wasn't. And I am very grateful. It's been a rough week. Things don't go the way we think they will sometimes, but we soldier on and we put our best foot forward. And I love and appreciate both of you for helping me do that this evening. She's switching stuff up. There we go.
Oh, she wig change.
Classy. But like Fancy was saying, we do have Divas Down Under this weekend. Just 2 days away, kids, for our flashback to the 80s drag show with Poison, Fancy Dismount, Trixie Valentine, myself, Harpy Daniels, and Amethyst Diamond. There are tickets still available, so do not wait around. Make sure you get your tickets ASAP. And then we've got another Boomerang Brunch coming up next month with myself and Amethyst, with performances by Krishnara Sparks Diamond, Tsunami, and Poison. So get your tickets as soon as you can. Go out, support local drag. Next week, we have another amazing episode, fresh off her wonderful announcement as part of Camp Wanakiki Season 4. We have the incredible Paula Frost joining us.
Yes.
Look at that Muppet. So if you have questions for someone who's been on Camp Wanakiki and you didn't get to ask them to Tora Hyman a couple years ago, this is your chance. Granted, the show hasn't aired yet, so she won't be able to answer everything. But yeah, make sure you tune in. Support local drag. Support my beautiful sisters here. Support each other. The world is weird right now. Don't get distracted. Stay laser focused on what's important. And I want to end with this phrase that I've started saying recently, and it's really starting to resonate with me. Go out and be the beauty that you want to see in the world.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Good night, kids.
Good night, kids.
Thank you for joining us on Inside the Drag Closet. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Inside the Drag Closet, where we talk about all things drag and some things that aren't. Who knows? We're really just here to have a good time.